78. Maybe too early to tell from this particular sector. But yeah, equal weight definitely improving. Dow Jones Transportation Average, good signs. Nice little V coming off there. And obviously that's improving. And of course, anything to do with home builders, as we mentioned before, a series of lower lows and lower highs. We're not above 78 or anything, but we have seen what looks like a potential bottom. And pullbacks at this stage could be met by bull demand at least back to 76. So again, home builders, ITB, construction, all that stuff looking like it might be turning around. We did mention that dollar may be bulling into the highs, and it actually did so. Didn't quite make a new high, which is a little disappointing. I would have liked it to have actually taken this and then come back down. But yeah, it was a good little TP if you'd gotten into longs here, maybe break even TP around this area. And we still haven't broken out of the range. So I would say we're back to being probably neutral. If we have seen the high, of course, in yields, and that's what some people are suspecting, then it could be a time to see that the dollar actually starts to weaken off. We will be watching very closely the way this breaks, the way it looks, and of course it sets up. Gold, hovering, doing nothing really. Gold is just stuck in this range. Have we broken down to show us that swings are getting back into the shorts? No. Are we still in a bull trend? Yes. Are we still above those important levels? Absolutely. And do I think we're going to get a new high on gold in the future? I would say yes. However, we don't know that that's going to come just yet. It's very hard to trade the small time frames. If you got into it or were lucky enough to get into it the other day, that would be a bit better. Let's take a look at gold stocks. They came down to our zone. Nice. That's pretty cool. And then we saw some buying come back in. So again, not too bad for gold. Gold stocks in general having an okay session. Let's move over to US oil. Now that got smashed right back down and it tested the supply. You can see really here a drop base, drop kind of scenario, and the supply was tested. It was shorted down, and we continue to kind of look at oil as possibly a negative. Now you've got some good levels though. You can actually mark this resistance out just below 84 a barrel if you're watching this in the car. I know a few of you do so. And if you see a break above that, while it's going to be a bit hard because of the supplies here, you might be able to get like a little scalp in or day trade. So we'll be watching it, but oil for now still remains negative on our list. Tesla, bit of an improvement, obviously back to 205. I think it's still too early to tell on this stock whether we've really done a turn. But I tell you what, that's a nice weekly rejection week should it hold it. So we'll find out that in only a few trading sessions. But nice big rejection week. If the markets hold up, maybe we've seen the low for Tesla for now, and we'll keep updating you. AAPL, good breakout. This is not too bad, and it's coming in the face of the big earnings session. So really, it's going to come down to earnings. It's not so much about a 2-hour chart or anything like that. It's going to be the earnings that matter on this stock. But we're at that resistance. You can see the alert I had set just above here. And what I'd like to see is something like this occur and showing us that maybe Apple has bottomed. Now, this is all going to come down to the earnings, though. So be careful, guys. It does move a little bit during such events. US 2000, did we see recovery signs in the smaller stocks? Yes, but nowhere near as good as the NASDAQ or the S&P. It might be bottoming. It's very, very tough. I still favor a 1710 plus, and I do think the Russell's going to give the best opportunity, pure percentages, but first up, usually gamma goes if we are in a strong kind of uptrend or we're starting to do it. The Australian market people will be pretty happy. The Aussies out there will be really enjoying, I guess, seeing a new high here. 6,900 alert went off pretty much at the market open, and we saw the market come up. I'd like to see maybe a pullback into strength, but this is a good first strength sign for the Aussie market. So quite a lot of signals, as we can see here, showing us some decent strength. German market was the same. Came back to the 20 moving average, which is that red line, but at the same time, it just kept recovering off the base of the other day. And yeah, it's kind of in line with some of the things we've been talking about from that market. Let's talk Qs. Big strength coming into a little bit of a supply. So let's look at the futures. You can see here this critical level, but you can also see that we broke that trend line on the way down. So positive signs, we've got now areas that could be seeing bulls if we do pull back. And yeah, it's a good little area for the NASDAQ to maybe have that kind of potential little bit of TP. I like to use the S&P though, which we've talked about. Most traded level, nice. Downward trend line, nice, very good. 20 moving average, interesting area. And of course, we do have as well supply. But there's a little bit more than that. I've got a couple of lines set for us so we can see it. 20 moving average, supply, and of course here, some green squiggles as well, which has got to do with VWAP. So overall, we have a pretty key level. If we keep breaching this zone, we're going, I would say, towards this next area up here, which is going to be important, around 43.60. And there are some nice signals here coming in from the market towards the strength. First up, the other day, we kind of talked about this being strong once it broke through 41.80. We would have preferred during the Jerome Powell speech for the market to do this. That would have been really good. False move often first. In this case, though, it was all just Jerome Powell telling the market how good everything is and how we're going to pivot and all of this other stuff. No, he didn't say that, but you know what I mean. He basically gave the juice to the market, and it was a great excuse to get it straight back into that supply. So if you're a seller, if you're someone that's about, this is your area. 42, kind of 50 to 42.80 is going to be where you're looking for structural potential resistance. And if you do get something like this, then you're going to be saying, well, okay, I think there might be a decent risk-reward trade towards the short here. This is the area most people will look at. Based on things like home builders and stuff, even if we do see a sell, it does seem like markets want to go higher. And that's a mixture of seasonality, a mixture of data, a mixture of TA, a mixture of the lead indicators. Everything just improved so much. But I do notice that there's a lot of bulls smelling around now in the markets. So maybe that is a contrarian after itself. Let's find out what that sentiment indicator happens to do, and we'll do that in the next video. Bitcoin traders loving themselves, new high. I think there's all sorts of speculation here. So we saw a nice 5% increase. We haven't really turned bearish on Bitcoin or Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum smashing this zone, which is where we talked about the resistance being. And yeah, it was more of just, this is most likely, it looks like, some form of accumulation with breakouts. And Ethereum should be behind Bitcoin. Usually Bitcoin goes first, Ethereum comes second, the rest of the alts come third. So there'll be plenty of opportunity, I'm sure, in these markets, should you like them. And at this stage, where do we think these markets could go? People have been asking, what's my call on Bitcoin? What do I think could happen? Oh, I guess the problem is there's really nothing much stopping it until at least 40,000 or right around just underneath 40,000. So it seems like it's going to try to get it, and everyone will get hyped about it, and then probably do some kind of hype beast sell-off, and then hopefully there is opportunity coming into the halving event. Do remember, there are still big news for the week ahead. It is all about now the unemployment figures, and that's going to come in Friday, non-farm payrolls, and this is a big deal. 8:30 a.m. New York. Make sure to watch, or make sure to be aware of it. For day traders and scalpers, it is going to be a risk, so we will be on top of it. And of course, enter the competition. If you haven't already done so, you enjoyed today's video, remember, name, email, enter here. That's simple. We will draw it in a little over 4 days' time, and I hope to meet one of you, or actually two of you, very soon, with the first and second prizes being something I think a little bit special. All right, thanks so much, guys. Subscribe, smash that like button, hit the alerts. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.